the first step, parentheses. This is the first step. And inside the first step, this is number 1. This is number 2. The next step, this is the second step I have to square. And this is also the second step I have to square. Then I have to perform the division. And then the rest. So number 4, adding and subtracting. Adding and subtracting. So one more time. The first step, I see parentheses. I see grouping symbols. Inside the grouping symbol, I have to deal with powers first, and then subtract. When I'm done, I finish the next step. I address the second step if you want. Powers. Then I have to divide from left to right. Division. And then at the end, addition, subtraction in any order you want. Okay, stop me if you have questions. So I copy -3 to the 4th power. I copy 12 squared. I copy the division symbol. I don't care. I don't look at anything. My priority is here. In parentheses, can anyone tell us how much is 5 squared? And then I'll copy 13.
25.
Yes, perfect. Good. -3 to the 4th plus 12 squared. Division symbol. Now, yes, if you say, oh, can I also do this at the same time? Yes, there are certain things that you can do at the same time. I agree. But once you're able to perform these operations correctly, then you can use some shortcuts. I agree. Okay. Now I have to perform 25 minus 13. Can anyone give us 25 minus 13?
12.
Very good. Good. So finally we finished number 1, Roman number 1, with their inside. Now, don't touch division, don't touch anything. The next step is exponents. And remember what we said, there are no parentheses here, which means the negative, I didn't mean to write the -3 again. So the negative has to stay. That cannot change. Because we do not have parentheses around -3. So negative stays. 3 to the 4th. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. Plus, I must square 12. When you square 12, you will get 144. And then divide by 12. So I finished this. Number 1 is done. Number 2 is done. Now I'm at number 3, which means division. Well, I know 144 divided by 12 is 12, because I just squared 12. And now I finally reach the last step. So this is -81 and plus 12. You can say 12 minus 81 or -81 plus 12. I know that this is stronger, so I know that the answer must be negative. Can anyone give us now 81 minus 12? 69. Yes, if you ask and if you are more experienced, yes, I would have said you could have changed this into -81 from the moment you worked on the parentheses. You could have changed this into 144, but learn the rules first, and then you can use some shortcuts, which are acceptable. Any questions on this problem? For those of you who have not seen order of operations before, I have to say that this is not, I do not consider this an absolute trivial problem. I do not. Okay, any questions? Okay. Okay, this is Easy. Okay, I would like everyone to work on this problem for 1 minute, and then we'll work on it together. Please be prepared to give an answer. So 2 minus 7, everything squared, plus -3 minus 6 and everything squared. So let's work on this for 1 minute, please. Remember the rules.
I lost the problem.
I'm sorry?
I lost the problem.
You can't.
Like
You cannot.
oh.
Not possible. Okay? Is anyone ready with an answer, please? Okay? Okay, I got, from Bobby, I got 106. Okay, from Matthew, I got 106.
Agreed.
Agreed? Okay, must be true. As my grandma used to say, if two people tell you you're drunk, you go to bed. She wasn't talking about alcoholics. She was just saying that if two people tell you you're wrong, you must be wrong. Okay, so first we address the inside parentheses, and 2 minus 7 is -5. Then we address the operations inside parentheses, and this is -9, everything squared. I know now, before I even calculate anything, that both numbers have to be positive. How come? Because they are negative, but the powers are even. So 25 plus 81, correct, 106. Perfect, excellent, good. Any questions? Anyone? Anyone needs any help? Thank you, everyone. Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
If those powers were odd, like say it was to the third power.
Yes,
then
3 negatives will always give us negative. So if this were 3, I would have had negative 125, and this would have been negative 729, right? So because the power 3, but this would be negative, would have been negative plus another negative number, so the answer would have been negative. Perfect. How do we feel about the order of operations so far? This is crucial, really. Okay, I will move faster and you tell me where you would like to work on. If there is a problem that you want me to stop, we can work on it. Okay, this one has brackets. So let's work on this one. The absolute value of 5 minus 13 minus bracket 2 plus 4 multiplied by -7 and then bracket again. So this is the second level of grouping symbols. This is not a grouping symbol now. How come? This is a grouping symbol. I claim that this one isn't. Why?
Because it's next to nothing.
Because this is only used to separate two operating symbols, multiplication from subtraction. So this is not a grouping symbol. But I have to perform, so they didn't want to use nested parentheses. Since they use parentheses here, they said, okay, let's go to the next level. and they used brackets. Good. So now I have to start. This can be performed as number 1, and this has to be performed as number 1. Good. So 5 minus 13 is negative 8. In absolute value is 8. So this is completed. I have to copy minus, copy the bracket, copy 2. Stop. Now I have to perform the multiplication. See, this is one thing. This is a totally different thing. Even if they say you're going to put a multiplication symbol, no, 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 no. So 4 times negative 7, I multiply a positive by a negative, so I get a negative number. Here is my second step now. Since you eliminated parentheses, you actually can, if you want, demote the brackets to parentheses. That's okay. It's up to you. So go lower, in other words, meaning change the brackets into parentheses, demote them. Demote the brackets to parentheses. You don't have to. This is good enough. One or the other. So now I know in brackets I have negative 26. Either change it into parentheses or keep it as brackets. It doesn't make any difference. But now, remember, I have an imaginary negative 1 here. Or you say the opposite of negative 26. One or the other. Regardless, the answer has to be the same, and this has to be a product of 2 negative numbers, which is positive. So you get 8 plus 26, which is 34. So again, I addressed in brackets this product first. Positive times negative is negative. At the same time, I'm okay with performing 5 minus 13 in absolute value and getting 8. Copy negative. You can demote now because parentheses are gone. You can demote the brackets into parentheses or just keep brackets is fine. Perform the operation inside, get negative 26. Realize that the opposite of negative 26 or a negative times a negative is positive. Perform 26 plus 8 or 8 plus 26, it doesn't matter, and we get 34. Are we okay with this? Excellent. Thank you very much. Good. So I'll go quickly, and you stop me. If there is something that catches your eye, please. Or you can choose from your own problems if you'd like. That's fine too. But I think you can see them before you do the learn.
I do have a question actually.
Yes, please.
So in the order of operations, we are kind of considering absolute value symbols as grouping symbols.
No, we address them at the same level. It's the same level. Very good question. No. So grouping symbols are separate from absolute value, but they have to be considered as the same first level.
Okay.
But that's why I put them separate. Absolute value is not a grouping symbol. It does not, because it does not behave like a grouping symbol. You cannot distribute anything in. You cannot take anything out. You cannot factor. You cannot. So that's why absolute value have to be treated as a totally separate situation. But they both, as you see, I started here and here because they are at the same level. First priority, in other words. Perfect.
And it doesn't matter which one you pick to do first.
I started from left to right, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Good. So if something catches your eye, I think we covered everything so far. I just want to get to more complicated situations, but I want to see what's in here because I disagree with certain things. and I want to let you know. So, is this something you would be interested in?
Yes, please.
Excellent. Let's work on this one. So here we have negative outside, the absolute value, negative again, then 22 also in absolute value, and the outside absolute value, and plus negative 39. Good.
So much to lose.
Yes, so many absolute, yes, they used all of them. True, I agree. So, obviously, we have no grouping symbols to perform. This is not a grouping symbol. This is just a separation between positive and negative. And we only have an absolute value and inside another absolute value. So of course I have to start inside. I have to copy the outside negative. And then 22 in absolute value is 22, but the minus in front gives us negative 22. At this point, please remember there is an imaginary positive 1, but when I multiply a positive by a negative, I get a negative. At this point, I have to find the absolute value of negative 22, which is 22, and I have to copy the negative in front. Now I know these two numbers are negative. I beg for $22 and then I beg for 39, so obviously I'm in minus. And this is negative 61. I copy the sign, and in my mind, in my head, I add 22 to 39. I have a debt of 22, and I have to add 39 to it. But then the sign has to be negative because I'm going into more and more debt. So they are negative. Okay? Okay, this is pretty much similar. Yes. This is crucial. This is a very important, very simple, but very important type of problem. So let's talk about this. So, which page am I on? I'm on 9. Okay, so 24 divided by negative 1 minus 3. Again, for those of you who came in later today, again, I want to show you at the very top, the module at the very top has the all previous videos and lecture notes. Everything we studied so far, I recorded it and I posted them here again. The lecture notes is the PDF file and the video lecture. So another PDF file, which is the one that we reviewed today, and the videos are here. That's not what I meant. I meant to go this way. And again, this way. Okay? So these are the 4 videos from last time. I cannot stress enough if you are not paying attention, if you missed class. This is absolutely crucial for your understanding and building the knowledge in this class. Please. I don't mind begging my students. I perfected the art of begging in the last 20 years. So, one very important thing. Remember what we said last time. We simplify only factors. So we talked about the difference between terms and factors. -1 and -3 are terms. And we only simplify factors. Please, this will be an absolute terrible mistake to say, oh, I'm simplifying 3. Don't write this, please. 3, and I have here 8. No, no, never. We can never do such a thing because these are terms and we only simplify factors. Now, if I have a situation with 24 divided by 3 times 4, it's a different story. These are factors, and I can simplify and write this, and then simplify by 4 and write this. Yes, because I simplified factors. But this is never allowed. But what do I do with it then? Well, 24 over negative 1 minus 3. First, I perform this operation as negative 4. Then I divide a positive by a negative, and I must write the negative symbol in front. And now the division is 6. And it's done.
I'm so sorry, guys. Can you go back
Yes.
to
Before you ask your question, I want to say that my heart bleeds when I see this in calculus. Okay? Yes.
So when you simplified 24 over 3 times 4, how did you come up with the numbers that you were simplifying by, like the 8, the 2, the 1, and the 1?
Because 24 is divisible by 3.
Okay.
I started with 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And then at
Right.
the top I had an 8, and the denominator I had a 4. So now I'm simplifying by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. Since the numerator, the leftover is just 2, a factor of 2, and the denominator is only a factor of 1, 2 over 1 is 2.
Okay, I get it.
Better? Please understand again the difference between terms. You cannot touch them. Don't touch terms. Careful. And factors. Any questions?